It's your boy Ryan, and in this video we're going to talk about Piracetam being one of the main racetams for verbal fluency. I'm going to kind of break down why I think that's the case. I kind of want to explain over time how a lot of the anecdotal reports on racetams puts much more reporting on verbal fluency paired with Piracetam compared to other racetams, and I kind of want to just give my take on it, how it affects me, and some other stuff about Piracetam. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Check us on the web at livecortex.com, on our blog at livecortex.com/blog. Giant blog for nootropics information, one of the biggest on the web, probably the biggest on the web. At facebook.com/cortex stacks, and then we've got 6 major products. Let me do a minute or so of pitching you those products. If you don't listen to us pitch great nootropic products, see how I did that there? Then just fast forward a minute. Number 1, we got a stack. It's called Cortex. It's a nootropic stack. Very powerful, turns the brain on. Okay, if you really want to get to see what it's like to fire on all cylinders, to have heightened cognitive function, buy a bottle of Cortex. Right now, coupon code 27 takes it down to 27 bucks even. That lasts till the 1st of January. If you want to learn everything there is to know about nootropics and get access to very many powerful stacks, we've got 5 digital guides: the Noopept Pro Stack List, the Nootropic Stack for the Business Professional, Smarter, Better, Faster, the Racetam God Guide, and the Beginner's Guide to Aniracetam. These are very, very powerful digital, all downloadable digital guides that give you very many stacks and that are epically awesome. Okay, get all the stuff at livecortex.com. And then lastly, we do Nootropics Consult. It's a consulting service, 30 minutes, or correction, 40 minutes with me on a Skype call, 15 additional email correspondences. Get all that stuff at livecortex.com. Coupon code 27 gets you $7.99 off of anything until 1st of January 2018. Okay, so Piracetam. Basically, I think the first thing to define is what makes verbal fluency work well. There's 3 things I think that make verbal fluency work well. There's working memory, brain fluidity would be number 2. So no impediments in your brain's capacity to function, right? You know, you get into those states when things just flow and there's no impediments whatsoever. And then, you know, the reverse thing, which is where it's the opposite, where you have impediments, you have trouble moving to the next thought, you have troubles calculating your thoughts, putting them all together. And then lastly, I would say executive control. Executive control. And that's just a word to describe, people probably define that in different ways, but that's just a word to describe, a phrase to describe having the ability to slow things down when you need to keep your brain on track, and to keep it on point with the information you're trying to deliver. Because I think a part of what prevents people from being verbally fluent is they don't have that executive control to sort of stay in place and to keep things in a great place. Brain is wandering in different directions, so it's harder for them to go retrieve something from memory, formulate it in a sentence, and get it out, otherwise known as verbal fluency, right? Okay, so those 3 things are the primary things you need to have verbal fluency. Of all the racetams, it seems clear in the anecdotal reporting of Piracetam, my own experience in Piracetam and looking at the mechanisms of Piracetam, that Piracetam is one of the best racetams that delivers all 3 of those things. Okay, it's through blood flow and oxygen that brain fluidity arises. You know, like there's one majorly awesome thing. I mean, probably, well, there's many majorly awesome things, but one of the things that stands out to me about meditating is how much more fluid my brain is after I meditate. I'll sit there 10-15 minutes and meditate, and then I'll just notice everything works quicker, faster, and more fluid thereafter. We know that meditation improves blood flow in the brain, right? So that could be directly what's causing it. And then, you know, as well as oxygen. If I sit down and breathe, you know, like do some sort of breathing exercise, which is something I'm getting into lately, which is pretty cool, my brain definitely feels different. Okay, so it's probably the combination of blood flow optimizations and oxygen to the brain that allow the brain fluidity to arise from Piracetam. Now, there's a little bit of speculation about what exactly is inducing the blood flow increases, whether it's Piracetam itself just goes in and increases blood flow, or it's just that the regions of the brain Piracetam is working on, the brain is sending extra blood there as a byproduct. I mean, but you know, whether it's one or the other, you still have activated blood flow and increased blood flow. That's probably why the fluidity arises. The second thing, though, is that it's through improving cholinergic functioning, right? Improving the functioning of acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter, and modulating its receptors, that the memory and recall comes about from Piracetam, right? That's one of the main things that Piracetam does, working on cholinergic receptor sites. And so there you've got memory and recall. So you've got two parts, from Piracetam, the brain fluidity and the memory and recall just from Piracetam. These are two critical parts to achieving verbal fluency. But the last thing really is I think it's everything. It's working on acetylcholine receptors. Piracetam mildly is an allosteric modulator of AMPA receptors like Aniracetam is. It's noted to be pretty weak, so who knows how much that's contributing to good brain function, therefore verbal fluency. But it's all of these things. It's brain fluidity, it's blood flow to the brain, it's oxygen to the brain, it's memory and recall that I think gives somebody a sense of confidence to have better executive control, because all of these things are working well, right? It's like, and on the other hand, having memory and recall capacity and brain fluidity, it's pretty hard to not have executive control at the same time, right? I would imagine a lot of the stuff that's happening, a lot of the cholinergic optimizations probably happening in the frontal lobes. These are where a lot of your executive control happens. And that gives you that third part of the puzzle, executive control, to stay on task and to remember everything and to know what you're doing and to hold your brain, prevent it from basically just like derailing and going off on a tangent or something. That allows one to really put the whole picture together to get verbal fluency. And Piracetam is one of those nootropics, it's one of those racetams that delivers that for a lot of folks. You'll see in the anecdotals on the web, if you go to YouTube and you just search people's reports with Aniracetam experiences, Aniracetam review, or Piracetam reviews. Look at me, I need some PRL 853 from memory. Piracetam experiences, etc. You're going to find people take it and they increase verbal fluency noticeably, and it's like one of the dominant things they talk about in their explanation for it. Okay, so dose range is 2 to 4 grams of Piracetam. I mean, I've seen people take 500 milligrams of Piracetam and get a result. I've seen people having to take 5 to 6 grams a day of Piracetam to get a result. So you're going to have to sort of experiment with what doses work for you. But frankly, I mean, 2 grams is a good place to start. 300 to 500 milligrams choline bitartrate as a very simple stack. That's the way that I always suggest people start with Piracetam. And if you've tried other nootropics and they haven't really quite helped you in the verbal fluency arena, then you might want to try Piracetam, because that really might be the golden ticket to get your brain to work in a way that allows you to be verbally fluent. It is for a lot of other folks. They've taken Aniracetam, Oxiracetam, other racetams, Noopep. Don't work quite well the way they want it to. They take Piracetam, it works awesomely, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Hope all of this has made sense. And remember, up until the 1st of January 2018, everything is $7.99 off the Cortex Labs website. That's our stack. That's our digital stack list. Get that stuff now. Links are in the description below. Coupon code 27. Thanks for watching. What's up, everybody? Ryan Michael Balla here. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Look, we've got, as it stands, 5 primary products that I want to just explain to you. You heard us mention them during the video, so I'm going to break them down. Number 1, from left to right, the Cortex Nootropic Stack. This is a cognitive enhancement stack that you really want to take to turn the lights on. Just to give you an idea, hardcore business folks that require 18 to 20 hours of brain function, take the Cortex Stack. That's what we initially designed it for, but then like everybody in the nootropic sphere loved it. Verbal fluency, speed of processing, motivation, drive to want to work. That's what the Cortex Stack does. Moving right along, the Aniracetam guide there, that is called the Beginner's Guide to Aniracetam, breaks down 25 powerful Aniracetam stacks, shows you how to use Aniracetam. It's essentially the everything guide to Aniracetam. Long demanded, folks asked us for it, we delivered. It is fully digital, lots of powerful stacks. And then there's the Nootropic Stack for the business professional. That's basically 100, right around 100 powerful uridine, modafinil, theacrine, Aniracetam, Oxiracetam, phenylpiracetam, Alcar stacks for business situations, for the type of brain states that business folks need for sustained performance. Next is the Racetam God guide. That is a high-level every Racetam guide, digital guide. We've got all the major Racetams with accompanying focus stacks and memory stacks and speed of processing stacks. In that Racetam. There's 8 major nootropic racetams, and that guide explains all of them and accompanying stacks. Then there's the Noopep Pro Stack List. The Noopep Pro Stack List is a digital guide that explains oral, so just taking it by mouth, sublingual, taking it under the tongue, and then intranasal, spraying Noopep nasal spray in your nose, stacks. It's just a bunch of stacks, a giant stack list of Noopep stacks that are highly effective, pro-level specific brain state inducing type of new pep stacks. That thing has been a hit out there with the market. And then last, there's Smarter, Better, Faster. Smarter, Better, Faster is the all-around, everything nootropics digital guide. If you just want to learn everything, many racetams, modafinil, etc., get Smarter, Better, Faster. It's like the guide you need to know if you're new to nootropics to learn basically everything and to walk away knowing what you need to know on nootropics. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Get this stuff at livecortex.com and rock on.